So this is a case that's been going on for years. In fact, the Thulsie twins have spent over 5.5 years in jail. And today, they were finally sentenced, but only after entering a plea bargain with the state. The High Court in Johannesburg sentenced terror-accused Brandon-Lee Thulsie to 8 years, his brother Tony Lee to 11 years behind bars. The twins pleaded guilty to planning to join the Islamic State in Syria. Tony Lee also convicted for planning to detonate explosives at the US Embassy and Jewish institutions in South Africa. eNCA's Heidi Giokos has been following the story. She joins us now for an update. So Heidi, after all these years, finally, they essentially plead guilty, and there's an agreement that there's no need for a full trial. Have I got it right?
Yes, that's exactly it, Sally. So I think everybody was expecting for trial to commence today after the twins being in jail for 5 years and 7 months. The trial date was set today by the judge, but when we got in court today, we were told that it's going to be a plea bargain agreement together with the state and the defense legal team. They came up with some agreement. They were in negotiations and discussions prior to this, and they came up with this plea agreement. So they've pleaded guilty to a couple of charges, and we do understand that the one twin, which is Brandon, is only sentenced to 8 years, and it specifically relates to him wanting to leave the country, trying to leave the country to go to Syria and join ISIS there, and also being in possession of, it appears to be books and material of how to join ISIS in Syria. So we do understand that Tony Lee, his brother, however, has been sentenced to 11 years, and the reason for this is because he's actually being charged of wanting to bomb certain institutions and buildings here in South Africa, especially the UK, the US, the French, the Russian embassy, as well as some Jewish institutions and buildings. So we do understand that this is why his brother has gotten 11 years and not the 8 years that Brandon got. But it's also important to highlight that this will definitely include the 5 years, 7 months that they have already served. They were never granted bail, and they've been behind bars for almost 6 years. In July, it will be 6 years, so that will count to the time that they have already served. But I think it's important for us to actually listen to some of the counts and what they have actually pleaded guilty to. Let's listen in on that.
In respect of accused one, Brandon-Lee Thulsie, he's pleaded guilty in respect of essentially contravening Section 14, read with various subsections, and attempting to leave South Africa to join ISIL.
Yeah.
And in addition, accused one, Brandon-Lee Thulsie, is pleaded guilty to count 7, which was, as we see in paragraph 9.46, in that on or about February 2016, accused one did unlawfully possess the document, How to Survive in the West, a Mujahid guide, which accused one ought to reasonably have known was connected with terrorist activities.
Yeah.
Now, my Lord, in respect of accused two, and the point I want to make is the counts or charges which the accused have pleaded guilty to differ.
Yeah.
And for that reason, Your Lordship will see that the sentence agreement also differs in respect of the two accused.
Yes, yes.
9.47 says that accused two pleads guilty to count 1, which was attempting to leave South Africa to join ISIL, like his brother then accused 1. But more importantly, my Lord, and perhaps this we say, well, in the negotiations, my Lord, it was a sticky point, but it would justify a more serious sentence, and the distinction between the two sentences in respect of accused 1 and 2. 9.47 says a third alternative count 4, contravention of Section 14, dealt with various sections of the Pok-Detara Act, in that during July of 2016, the accused unlawfully and intentionally conspired with Abu Harb to engage in a terrorist activity in South Africa.
All right, so that's the lawyer for the Thulsie twins. What did the judge have to say?
Sally, I think we were all expecting the judge to perhaps look a little deeper into the the twins pleading guilty to these counts and these charges. But it seems as though the judge says that he agrees with this, and especially after it was read out why the twins decided to convert to Islam and how they wanted a sense of belonging, and the judge making it very clear that the court does not judge on people's ideologies or wanting to actually change or wanting to belong somewhere. And it seems as though the judge says that the sentencing and the conviction of the two twins is fair, and he believes as though because they've already been behind bars for almost 6 years, he feels as though the state and the defense came up with a decent amount of years for them to remain behind bars. But let's rather listen to the judge on that.
Are you prepared to admit that you were not forced into signing this agreement, both of you? Accused number one? You accused two? And that you have done so. You're pleading guilty to the said charges incorporated in this plea and sentence agreement freely and voluntarily without any coercion. They are not forced. And you understand the charges to which you are pleading guilty to. You have discussed them with your counsel and the effect thereof. Hello? Okay, thanks. I'm satisfied that the accused...
All right, so with these sentences that they've now been given, 8 years and 11 years, surely they're going to be eligible for parole quite soon?
Yes, especially Brandon. He might be eligible for parole quite soon, Sally, because we do understand that given the nature of these crimes that they have been convicted of, you need to serve at least 2/3 of your sentence, and Brandon has already served 5 years, 7 months, so he will most likely be eligible quite soon. Of course, Tony Lee still has some time because he was sentenced to 11 years. So, of course, it all just depends on whether or not their request for parole will be granted, but accused number one, which is Brandon, will be eligible, if I'm not mistaken, in the next year or so.
All right. Thanks so much. eNCA's Heidi Giokos just bringing to a conclusion a very long-running matter. The Thulsie twins, 5 years, 7 months awaiting trial, entering into a plea deal, admitting their culpability and being sentenced to 8 and 11 years. Thank you so much for wrapping that up for us.